Vietnamese pork floss, known locally as Ruốc or Bông, is a fascinating example of how simple ingredients can be transformed into a light, airy, and deeply satisfying form of protein that lasts for months. It's a traditional food that captures both resourcefulness and culinary artistry, the ability to take lean pork and, through patient cooking and hand shredding, create a fluffy, flavorful topping that feels both rich and delicate. Once considered a specialty food reserved for travelers, children, or festive occasions, pork floss has now become a convenient, shelf-stable source of protein that fits easily into the rhythm of modern life. Its texture, soft, fibrous, and melt in the mouth, makes it a unique way to enjoy meat without heaviness, and when made thoughtfully, it can become a clean, high-quality protein source with minimal fat and sugar. Nutritionally, pork floss provides a surprising amount of value in its feathery strands. Lean pork itself is one of the best sources of complete protein, containing all the essential amino acids needed for muscle repair, tissue regeneration, and enzyme production. Because pork floss is essentially dried, concentrated meat, its protein content per serving is much higher than in cooked fresh pork, offering sustained energy and satiety in small amounts. Alongside protein, it contains iron and B vitamins, particularly niacin and vitamin B12, which support metabolism and red blood cell formation. This makes it not only a convenient travel food, but also an excellent quick energy option for students, athletes, or busy workers who need nourishment without refrigeration or preparation time. When paired with whole grain carbohydrates, pork floss delivers a steady release of energy that supports mental focus and endurance throughout the day. The traditional preparation process is meticulous but rewarding. It begins with lean cuts of pork, commonly tenderloin or loin, simmered gently in water with light seasonings such as fish sauce, garlic, pepper, and a small pinch of sugar until fully cooked and tender enough to pull apart. Once cooled, the meat is shredded by hand or with forks into fine fibers, which are then returned to a dry pan and slowly cooked over low heat while stirring continuously. This long toasting process removes moisture, tightens the texture, and transforms the soft fibers into light, fluffy strands. The final stage may involve briefly tossing the floss with a touch of soy sauce or fish sauce for color and aroma, but a health-conscious version should limit sodium and sugar, allowing the natural flavor of the pork to shine through. For a lighter, cleaner homemade version, it's best to use lean pork and avoid the commercial practice of adding excess sugar, oil, or artificial coloring. The sweetness that makes some factory-made pork floss appealing can be replaced by the gentle caramelization that occurs naturally during slow toasting. Cooking in a non-stick or cast-iron pan without added oil helps maintain a low-fat profile. The stirring process, while time-consuming, is essential. The constant movement ensures even drying and prevents burning, resulting in floss that is golden, airy, and pleasantly crisp. Once finished, it should be completely dry to the touch. When stored properly in airtight containers, it can last for weeks at room temperature or months if refrigerated. Pork floss is one of those foods that easily adapts to various eating styles. Traditionally, it's sprinkled over sticky rice, congee, or steamed buns, but it can also be used as a high-protein topping for modern, international foods. Instead of pairing it with refined white bread or sugary rolls, it pairs beautifully with whole grain crackers, rice cakes, or even avocado toast, where it adds a savory crunch and umami richness. It can also be mixed into salads, stirred into porridge for extra protein, or used to fill omelets and wraps. Because it's light yet flavorful, a small amount goes a long way in enhancing taste and texture without adding heaviness. For a balanced snack, combine a tablespoon of pork floss with fruit slices, boiled eggs, or vegetables. The protein helps moderate blood sugar and keeps energy steady. Making pork floss at home also provides complete transparency over ingredients, something commercial products often lack. Many store-bought versions use added MSG, preservatives, or palm oil to increase shelf life, which compromises the clean, natural quality of the food. Homemade floss avoids these additives entirely, relying instead on careful preparation and proper drying for preservation. For extra aroma and complexity, natural flavor boosters such as crushed black pepper, a few slices of lemongrass, or a small piece of star anise in the cooking broth can be used. These additions enhance flavor without significantly affecting the nutritional balance. Because pork floss is essentially dehydrated meat, portion control is important. A small serving, around 1 to 2 tablespoons, already provides meaningful protein and flavor. Overeating it, especially if it's commercially sweetened or salty, can contribute to excess sodium or calorie intake. The best approach is to use it as a condiment rather than the main component of a meal. When viewed this way, it becomes a highly efficient protein booster, adding depth to otherwise simple dishes while maintaining overall dietary balance. Another advantage of pork floss is its portability. Lightweight, non-perishable, and nutrient-dense, it's a perfect travel companion for long trips, outdoor excursions, or busy workdays when refrigeration isn't available. A small jar or pouch can transform plain foods, rice cakes, bread, noodles, or even plain vegetables, into satisfying, protein-rich meals. Because it's fully cooked and dehydrated, there's no risk of spoilage under normal conditions, provided it's kept dry and sealed. From a broader perspective, pork floss represents a meaningful connection between traditional wisdom and modern nutritional practicality. It demonstrates how slow cooking and natural preservation can produce food that is both delicious and sustaining without dependence on artificial processing. It also celebrates the philosophy of balance central to Vietnamese cuisine, using simple, natural ingredients and turning them into something versatile and nourishing through patience and care. In an era dominated by protein powders and packaged bars, pork floss stands as a reminder that real food can be just as portable and far more satisfying. It embodies the kind of nutrition that feels natural, comforting, and genuine. Protein that doesn't need to be engineered, just thoughtfully prepared. When made from lean meat, with minimal seasoning and gentle drying, Vietnamese pork floss becomes a perfect example of smart traditional cooking adapted for modern health needs. A fluffy, shelf-stable protein that's light to carry, quick to eat, and deeply rooted in the art of simplicity.